Alright, so I am finally in Hawaii. Kind of getting over the hump, with the whole time difference and all. But yeah, there is someone special that came with me, all the way out here. This guy right here. And this is Hawaii. Well, I guess it's aloha everyone, it's Mr. A from Got Another Watch Time. Remember how I told you, I have another watch that I wanted to discuss with you guys, on my G-Shock video. Well, so from the thumbnail, I'm sure you guys already figured it out, but it's this guy right here. This is a Rolex GMT-2 16710, aka more commonly referred to as the Pepsi. This is the transitional model, meaning that it is considered to be a vintage. But this was one of the few watches that was in the last production date, before Rolex started mass producing all of the ceramic models. And I wanted to discuss, with you guys about this piece, which I picked up at the beginning of the year from M&B Watches. Really, if you guys don't know about them, they are a small boutique, specialized in Rolex, based out, in Dallas, Texas. Can't recommend them more than enough. Mickey, who is the owner, the president of the company, he's an absolute stellar guy. And knowing that when you're purchasing these vintage models, you need to make sure that you go get your pieces from someone that is accredited. And yeah, just wanted to give a shout out to him. This is not an endorsed video by all means and any means. Just the fact that I had such a really exciting and stellar experience, working with Mickey from, M&B Watches. I thought I definitely needed to give due diligence right here, so to say. But yeah, so I'm finally in Hawaii. It's been 3 days, like I mentioned. I'm here for a wedding, for a very special friend of mine. And, when you talk about, these pieces right here, the Pepsis, the association, with this piece is that, this is a really famous model that was worn by many famous individuals. With Hawaii, the colors in this, what more can I say? You got to go to the original, Magnum PI, Tom Selleck. He was a big inspiration, I'm not gonna lie. I've discussed about my attires in general, how I dressed, and this piece is just sensational to say the least. And by no means, I don't have any of that, insane stash game as Magnum does. Doing my best with what I could do. I'll go out, on the streets with a Hawaiian shirt, rocking this piece. And the fact that I'm actually able to, accommodate this special occasion, with a piece that really suits well. I guess I'll discuss what made me really want to purchase this watch and what my experience has been like, coming close to almost in years, in ownership. You saw my Explorer that I reviewed, and this, my collection. Let's go get it. So one of the things that us watch collectors like to do, we try to find special occasions when picking up a watch. A concept that I really think is cool is, what's referred to as the birth year watch. And simply put, that's, picking up a watch that aligns with your birth year, and that kind of creates a special bond to mark, the connection between you and your watch. Something that I think is really cool and I want to do definitely down the line as well. Now, kind of similar to that concept, what I wanted to do, and the reason why I picked up this watch was I wanted this piece to represent when I became an adult. And for me, that was when I went to college, jumping from one country to another, from Singapore all the way out into New York City, becoming an adult of my own. I had a very sentimental connection to that, and I always remember that year very clearly. And again, now that I kind of am in if you want to call it like the mid chapters of my life, as an adult. That's the reason why I picked up this watch, to indicate that, it was the first chapter of my life becoming a man of my own. And yeah, that really was a special occasion for me. And then this watch right here, this is the reason why I decided to go with this guy right here. Alright guys, so let's take a look at the watch together to let you know the overall aspects of the watch. So let's get started. This is the 16710, meaning that this is a Pepsi version. Everything that you see on this piece right here is original. In terms of the condition of the watch, it's been maintained in a really excellent way. No polishing whatsoever on this piece. The bezel is original. In terms of service, it received the basic necessary service to keep the watch running. But again, nothing has been done aesthetically to make this look, I guess, more new. So the state of the watch is as original as is. In terms of the bezel action itself, I think there's a lot of YouTubers out there who've explained this issue of where the bezel, the pip, does not align, right on the 12. It is a condition that is known, and has been admitted by Rolex. It doesn't really bother me, to be honest. And I think it's just something that, I can kind of get over. And then besides, the little, I guess, misalignment, I could just adjust this myself. 120 clicks on the bezel. Let's take a look at this together. Yeah, very smooth, and it is bi-directional, meaning, it rotates the other way as well. One thing that I did notice, from having this piece for some time now is that, while the action on the bezel when I'm going counterclockwise is very smooth and crunchy, like the way it, was meant to be, going clockwise, I definitely do sense that it is very stiff. With these models, it is known that you can, remove the bezel if you wanted to make some customizations yourself. And then, if you wanted to, I guess, do some changes with the springs and then the little click bars, what else and whatnot. The advantage of a vintage piece such as this is that the customization action is very surreal, and it's actually very manageable by yourself. I too have experience, with this, as well as the older Submariner models that I had, the 14060M, as well as the 710, the date version. Yeah, so with this, I thought it could have been a bezel issue. I did, kind of pop this off myself. Try giving it a good clean, with the brushes as well as the liquid soaps. Make sure, the metal spring bar itself wasn't too dried out, along with the little, the wheel that goes as the base of, the motion for the bezel. But still, even with all the cleaning and everything that I've done, I still do feel that, there's definitely, I guess, differences in terms of the movement, going clockwise as well as counterclockwise. I went into one of my local dealers here who specializes in vintage pieces, and they had this exact model, albeit that, it was the older version. I did get a chance to play around with the bezel on that, and I noticed that, that was very smooth. So again, I guess it was kind of a draw of the luck, in terms of the bezels. But again, not that big of an issue. Just something to note, if you're thinking or considering, purchasing one of these things as well. What more can I say about this? 16710. This is a transitional model. The year for this was between the years of 2004 and 2005. Something that I really wanted to, keep in mind, when I was searching for this model. And then my model right here, as you can see, it is the no holes piece, meaning this is all solid, front, back, and side. The bracelet is in just immaculate condition, and I'm really happy with this piece because I know it sounds crazy. I wear this almost as it's just an average watch. I work an office job, like many of you know, like I mentioned in my old previous videos as well. Desk diving is something that I face a lot, and I'm sure you could tell, from the condition of, the scratches that you're gonna see on this. But again, it is just absolutely comfortable to wear, and it's not pretentious. I'm very happy wearing this. It goes unnoticed, most of the times. It just flies under the radar. And then in terms of the wrist profile, again,
it just sits very comfortably, and I'm super happy, with my choice, with this ownership, for this model. So I said, we were gonna talk about, I guess, the general specs. So in terms of dates of productions, with the 16710, it dates all the way back from 1989, and the last models that were created before all the modern pieces came out was in the year 2007. Rolex GMT-2, and this is 100 meters or 330 feet for our Americans, in terms of water resistance. Sapphire crystal, caliber 3185 in terms of the movement. The later models, the ones that came out in production towards the late 2007, from my understanding, they do have the upgraded version of the 3186 movement. And again, very similar in terms of the piece itself, the internals, no qualms here. And this is, just absolutely stunning, absolutely just easy to wear on the wrist. Now, in terms of the lume, this holds its lume extremely well. With this, I have the Superluminova, which it says, as you can see on the bottom, it says Swiss-made dial. This was in production from years 2000 to 2007. And I know there's variations with these as well, with the letterings GMT-Master 2, with the 2 being straight stick dials, or, mine being the conventional regular Roman numeral dial. And let me see if there's anything else that I want to mention to you. Bezel choices are abundant. If you go on eBay or even Etsy, what else and whatnot. There's so many options, dating all the way from the original bezels, with the fat tools to the new ones. Coke variations, Pepsi variations, even the fuchsia variations are available as well. Just a lot of different options available, which makes this piece really fun and unique to play around with. There's a channel that I really want to give a shout out to, Dr. Rolex PhD. My guy's based in New York City, sort of a hometown for me as well. I came across this channel, and he is just seriously an absolute doctor, a PhD when it comes to, vintage pieces, transitional pieces such as this. He is an expert when it comes to the understanding of the movements itself, the benefits of the bracelet, the piece, the design of these pre-ceramic pieces. Definitely check out his channel. I highly recommend it. You'll learn so much about what makes, I guess, these pre-ceramic models unique and just so sought after. After I made the purchase, for this model, at the beginning of the year, I came across this channel, and it was just so fun, just going through his collection of videos. And I learned a lot, most importantly, and definitely, I want to give a big shout out to him.
So the wedding was a success, really beautiful. The setting here is amazing, as you guys can see. And remember how I told you guys about, I like the watch because it's unpretentious, and then, most importantly, it's something I can wear comfortably without notice. Another reason is that, it just works with everything. So for instance, it's been a couple of days since I've now returned back. The trip really to Hawaii was amazing. I mean, I got to wear, our friend over here, the whole connection, with, Magnum PI, and, the admiration that I have for the character of the original series. I'm just grateful that I had the opportunity, once again, to be there, and then, to really share this with you guys. I hope this video was enriching and informative. Anyone that's looking to get this piece, off the market, there are options available. But like I said, just be cautious of who you go to, when you're looking to get one of these pre-variations, the pre-ceramic variations. As long as you guys do your due diligence, study about the piece, learn a lot about what it is and what it is, what you need to watch out for. Again, this is gonna be a really great experience that I highly recommend. As always, please, if you like the video, do hit that thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. It really helps the channel grow a ton, and then again, most importantly, it means a lot to me that I'm able to really share
my experiences with you guys. And yeah, until the next one, take care guys. I'll see you soon. Bye.